Hi everyone, I'm Tara. I'm actually new to this. It's part of my spiritual awakening. Um, as I go along, I'm kind of learning. I've been waking up my whole life, I think, but more so since 99. In 99, I decided I was going to use a Ouija board because I wanted to find someone who was murdered that I knew. And when I used the board, I was using it by myself. I asked for him and I asked how to, well, so when I was sitting in the chair and I asked, they said that they were there. And I was like looking around and like, okay, well, where are you? So I was told, look out the window. And when I looked out the window, I saw this blue, white, kind of eerie type thing. It was like it had long, gangly fingers and it was going like this in the window of blue and what have you. And well, I thought it was him, so I asked, like, well, okay, how do I bring you in? And I was told to kiss him on the picture. Okay, well, I know that's not normal, something I just wanted to bring him in my house. And not really knowing what was going on, I did so. I kissed the picture. And after kissing the picture, I could feel like something was going inside me, and as it was going inside me, I could feel like it was like this, and then I was guided to my couch, and it was like somebody was making love to me, but there was nobody there. I know, messed up, right? Oh. So as time went by then, it was like I was hearing people's thoughts. It was very strange. It got really weird. I'd asked for a fast runner, and it was like I was just like, like Flash. I was seeing different shapes in the clouds. I was told to go outside at night and look up because there was one star there for me, and that was the only star in the sky. Been experiencing different things, like you feel supernatural stuff, like I know sometimes I feel like I'm being attacked, which technicality, yeah, you are being attacked. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, and you are. When you get, I'm trying to explain it because it's very strange. Like a lot of people say, well, okay, it's psychosis, schizophrenia. What have you. But it's causes mental health problems because it feels like we're going insane because we don't know how to deal with it. So it ended up that like weird things were happening. It was reverting. My mom said she's seen my mom and sister. One seen my eyes go completely black, and one seen my eyes go completely white. Like whenever it was coming, my arm would go like, you know, like this. The minister was there, and I was not myself at all. But I was well aware of everything that was taking place. I was in the hospital after it happened because I told my family I lost custody of my son because of it. They held it against me in court, plus my marital status. It's neither here nor there. It just shows how our system works. I went on July 7th, 99, and I had an exorcism. It was not fun. My mom was with me. Before having the exorcism, we went to the hospital. They took me back to the hospital, and I was there, and I'm just uncomfortable, like just uneasy, like something wanted to jump out. And I got called in, and I was laying in the bed talking to my mom, and a nurse came in, and all of a sudden my head just whipped at her and looked and said, "How's your effing dead baby?" Only in a really creepy voice. After that come out of my mouth, she just looked at me, turned, walked away, never to be seen again. Nobody came in then. And then it was time to see the psychiatrist. So we went in the room to see the psychiatrist. And we're sitting there. And she asked what was going on. And I said, well, okay, first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something. And then afterwards, I want you to give me your medical opinion. Okay? So she said, oh, okay. So I sat there and I started reciting the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, thou art in heaven, what have you. And as I started saying it, my body started going like that. Like it just started trembling so bad that I had to stop talking because I couldn't talk no more. So once I stopped talking, my body just went right back to normal. Go figure on that one. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So after that happened, I looked at the doctor and I said, okay, so, psychiatrist, sorry. So what's your medical opinion? She looks at me and it's like, well, I know nothing about the spiritual. And I just told her, like, I didn't ask for your spiritual opinion. I asked for your medical opinion. And she looked at me and said, I can't give you one. So I was sent home. So obviously, it wasn't schizophrenia or anything like that. I'm not laughing because it's not funny. It's the humor that a doctor admitted that basically, I'm sorry, ma'am, but that was not medical. That is something beyond my knowledge or abilities to fix. So after that, that's my mom and I and my grandmother. Well, not me, because I was a little weird. I even, when the minister burnt the Ouija board, I was laying in bed. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And I was laying there, and it was like, there was a swaying. And I could see two eyes looking at me. And the swaying was going like this. And it was getting closer and closer. So I jumped out of bed. And I ran out, and I told my mom. She's burning the Ouija board. And she's like, well, no, okay. Well, let's just go back to bed. So, okay. So I went back to bed. And I laid down and closed my eyes, and as soon as I closed my eyes, the swaying started again. Whatever, it was ticked. And it swayed, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, right in my face. So I jumped up, and it was like, she's done. Well, I knew she was done because that was one peeved off soul energy, I guess you'd call them. So I had the exorcism, and things started taming down. What I was saying with regards to schizophrenia and psychosis is, after that happened, I was talking to my doctor, and I know I'm fidgety, sorry. My doctor told me that back time before modern crappy medicine come about, that, like, I take that back, but some people swear by it. Me, I just look at it, well, okay, they're not addressing the actual problem as they're adjusting or approaching sorry. It's part of the spiritual awakening. You kind of have brain farts in between. It's because your mind is just going. It was considered demonic depression or demonic possession. It's like medium only. This was sort of... So he told me that it was that, and this medication that they have, it basically, it subsides it. However, I've come to find out that we call it the spiritual awakening, right? So once you're awake, and I've even told doctors, because back in January after Christmas, I described it, because basically what I said was I was going through the awakening, and different things were happening. At times, it was like an animal wanted to come out. It was really like, I was craving and going to eat raw meat or something, and I'm just like, what the? And then it was like something pounding in, okay, trying to, I call it, trying to get in on my heaven. So I went and I put myself in the hospital, signed myself in, as psychiatric. No shame in that. It's admitting that you need help, that you can't do it on your own. Because sometimes, like, we can't. We need each other. And right now, it's like we're being kept from each other. So it's hard. People are getting angry, aggressive, ignorant, not understanding other people. People say, yes, we are all sovereign beings, and some of us aren't aware, or we are, and we're afraid of it. I was seriously afraid, because I didn't really know what was going on, sort of. I did, but I didn't. And then when I went in this year to the hospital, there's something they got done in there, okay, because you, like, it's like the energies are kind of different. For the most part right now, it's like they don't want to help you, and they don't want to do anything except say, here's a pill, take the pill. So I told them, you know what, when I was leaving, while I was there, I was told I'm like a social butterfly, and other people understanding some of the stuff, and now they're waking up more so too, because they're understanding that, okay, I'm not like right out there. It's a matter of being in there, able to understand each other and know where each other's coming from, because a lot of people, they're feeling it, but they're afraid to say anything because of the people who like to mock and say, oh, you're just crazy. Well, guess what? I'd much rather be crazy than be sired. Which I know I'm not crazy. I've had experiences since then. One where it was like it come through my wall, sitting on the other side of my room and on the couch, and some people were here, and it was like something come through the wall, rushed right through me. And when that happened, I went automatic panic. Like not it was just like, oh my God, get me out of here. Because I knew something wasn't right. Well, I contacted some supernatural people that goes and investigates the supernatural. Well, I was talking to the woman, and I told her that I don't think it's my place that's haunted, or the energies or whatever. I think it's me. Well, she told me that when I was 2, around about born, from the time I was born to the age of 2, some being, person, what have you, attached themselves to me when they passed. She told me that this person was a man, and he was a very grumpy old man. And I recently found out this past year and a half that my great-grandfather was a very grumpy man. And he passed away not long after I was born, the same year. So she continued on, and she was talking, and she told me that, like, well, somebody was channeling her, trying to get in and get a message to me. And she kept saying about, like, this person, their name starts with S. I'm getting Sandy, say Sandra, Sandy, and she's talking, and I'm just like not saying anything. And she says, Sandra. And I'm like, okay, that's my mom. Well, she's telling me to tell you that everything is going to be okay. So right on. Okay. And she said that what she was going to do is her and another woman were going to come that Sunday, 7 o'clock, and sit with me and talk more and find out what is happening around me and what have you. Well, that Sunday, 3 o'clock, energies are sticking my hair up. I get a phone call, and it's the woman. And she told me that they won't be able to make it that day because they both took ill. So I found that very strange. They, like, why? Like, why did they take ill all of a sudden? So she said she would call me back by the middle of the week. I never heard anything by the middle of the week. So I contacted back, and I still haven't received a phone call. I'm understanding why now, because when I was in the hospital in January, this younger man came in, and he was acting very strange, and he was speaking very strange, like not human. And he was taking and flicking his energy around, almost like he was Venom, the Marvel comic. Yeah, like he was Venom. And I took his hand and I was like, whoa, 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 stop. You're randomly throwing your energy around. Like, wait. I said, like, I know what's happening. And I said, like, I got the energy too. And we put our hands together and he looked at me and he goes, there was a curse on you, but that curse is gone now. Well, my whole life growing up, I always thought there was a curse on me and a curse on my family. So, synchronicities, come on, you got to pay attention to them, okay? Because your loved ones and others are reaching out to you. You have your spirit guides and your family who is there and are trying to contact you, but they're not able to, or if they are, you're afraid. Don't be. You're not delusional. You're not hearing things. You're actually hearing them. And if you're unsure, ask questions. Because ask questions that only you know the answer to. You and that person. Okay? Now, it kind of settled for a bit because my vibrations were like up and nice. But because of a car accident I was in '99, I would go unconscious. When I go unconscious, it was like all of a sudden it would just happen, and most of the time I wouldn't be able to let anybody know. I would just go right down. Yeah, I know. So when I'd go down, my head would hit. So I would scream, and it was like I was hurting. And doctors weren't helping me. The last time I went unconscious was June 25th, 2019. I was in Costco, and the person that was with me asked me if I wanted a sample, and I said no, and no sooner I got that out of my mouth, and it was just like, and then I was going down, and the person, I felt them grab this arm. When they grabbed this arm, my body, I felt like my body flung out in towards the aisle, like torqued that way, while he was holding my arm. But it didn't hurt this arm. They were trying to lower me. I could feel them trying to lower me down. I couldn't say anything. I could hear everything. I could feel everything. That's been going on the whole time, and I expressed that. And they still hurt me and say, oh, well, we have someone here playing cat and mouse with us. Well, no, I wasn't playing cat and mouse. They're lucky I didn't pound the crap out of them when I come up, when I come out, because I was crying, like screaming, because they hurt me so bad. And it was like kind of like a mini coma. And you all know that when people are in a coma, they can still hear you. They can feel you. So if someone's in a coma, talk to them. Read to them, touch them, let them know you're there. They can hear you. They just can't respond. So when that happened, he was lowering me, and my body slammed into the floor. My shoulder come over, and it torqued right over, because it was like I folded it in half. My face and then the side here hit. I was like that for about 45 minutes. I could feel a woman touching me. I could hear the person getting frustrated, telling me to get out of the aisle. And meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't move. And it makes you feel you're scared. Not only are you scared, but you're embarrassed, you're humiliated, because you have someone hollering at you. And they're saying about calling the ambulance, and you never wanted them calling the ambulance because every time they did, they'd hurt you. So I just didn't want to call no more. Sorry. Apparently it does still affect me because I feel what other people feel. An empath, I guess. So anyways, I couldn't hold my head up for a bit. It would flop back. They'd put it up, it would flop back, and the ambulance came, the police came, and they wanted me to go, and I told them no because they hurt me. Meanwhile, I'm not able to speak properly. I'm stuttering and everything, and so I just like, so that time went by, and as time went by, it was like I was getting sicker. It was like my muscles were deteriorating and my chest was caving in, and it was like it was suffocating me. I'd say between the ambulance, going to emergency, going to walk-in clinics, I even went to Moncton and got turned away and a different diagnosis each time. Instead of trying to, I even posted a video on YouTube where a doctor says that, first he says there's no such thing as heart arrhythmia, which we all know there is. And then when the tests come back, I was asking questions, and he puts his hand on me, and he says, "Now, Tara, we've just done a very expensive test on you today. The most expensive test that we do." And I'm like, okay, well, that's quite the way to put it. So, the ignorance. Okay? If you have a record of a mental health issue in the past or what have you, that's what they go by. Which they shouldn't. And you all know that. Okay? So, as time was going by, people won't believe me on this, but really don't give a shift. My nephew had moved in, and things were happening. He was observing it. It was like my soul or something was leaving my body. It was like things were coming out, and it's taking me like this, and then it's like, whoa, trying to ground yourself. I was times when, like, my mom would come into my sight. I was laying on the couch one day because, like, I had been getting worse and worse and worse, and I just couldn't move. And I could hear my nephew and the son coming in, and they're saying, well, your mother's still asleep, and what have you, and I can't move, I can't indicate, like, no, there's something wrong, like, I'm not okay. So I was feeling it, and I could feel my body going into shock. And as it was going, I'm here by myself in my home, as my body was going into shock, it started off as like 3 little LED lights. And then it became double, 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 double. Kept going until it was just one massive bright light. Like, I mean, massive. All you could see was light. And it was, then I was observing, it was very eerie. Something come out of me. It was a young girl with dark, long hair, wearing a blue dress, and she was appearing very gray with black eyes. It come out of me, crawled down on my floor, under my coffee table, and up onto that chair and out through my window. And when I come around, it was like, oh my God, no, I gotta get out of my house. So I like, I couldn't handle it. It was like, just get out. So I went out to karaoke. And then in February, well, I went to Alberta because in 2008 and 9 and 10 and 11, there was a doctor out there who was trying to help me. He was the one who got me on the medication for the seizure activity. So I was up there, and I was having these problems, and that's why I was up there. And I was in bed, and like my body would get really cold and leathery feeling. And it was like this thing was in my face. And when it was seeing it, it was like it was touching me, and I'm here trying to scream for my dad. My dad wasn't there, but I was trying to scream for my dad, and it was like my voice was being cut off, hushed. It was like, Dad, Dad. So then I seen it. It was creepy crawling. It was like something. I don't watch horror movies, but I seen the thing for The Ring, and that's just what it was like. So I went to Alberta, and I come home because of COVID. When I got home, I started doing research to find out what was going on and what have you, decoding things. Certain things something gave a DEA number in artificial intelligence. Oh, sorry, it's because I'm talking about this, energies want to shut me down. But I'm just going to keep going, like a very good close friend of mine, Michael, says. Keep going. So, the night of the supermoon, weird stuff was happening to me. I was expressing to people, because like people had been watching me. It wasn't a paranoia. It was because of what I was doing. Like, we're being watched. Like, do you not know that? Everything you do, they know. So I was watching this, and a car would leave and a car would come, and it was like they would have a a red sweater or a red hat. To me, that's signifying the Matrix, like red or blue. Well, they're awake. And they know what's going on. So I told a friend, and